This conference will now be recorded.
Ajay. Oh, I have not seen that. So she messaged in the group. Okay. I have not seen the group. Okay. Right. Thank you. Yeah. Right. Let us. What is the session today? So yesterday we completed a Mentor Master. Mentor Master important fields also we discussed here. Today we'll step into the third master data, that is purchase info record. Generally, purchase info record is known as okay. So PIR. In short form, we'll call it a PIR. Okay. What is this purchase info record? Okay. So what is the advantage? Why we need to maintain the purchase info record in the system? Today's session we'll observe. Okay. So generally, the purchase info record is a condition record. Okay. So whatever the conditions you mentioned in the purchase info record, the conditions will be updated from purchase info record to purchase order. Suppose, okay, so without purchase info record, what will happen? Or and at the same time, what exactly the purchase info record contains? Okay. So far we completed both. So both the material. So here till now we discussed about the metal master, okay, and vendor master. If you integrated both the master tasks here, your metal master, vendor master, you will get purchase info record. Means the purchase info record is a combination of both material and vendor here. So if you combine these two master data, you will get purchase info record. So without, if I am not combined, okay, so how the user will handle it? If I combined, what is the result? So I am saying if you combine both the master data, you will get the purchase info record. And if I have not combined, if I have not integrated these two records, what will happen? We need to see. Okay. In generally, so whenever user is purchasing the material, the user will create a PO, right? User is need to create a PO. When user is trying to create a PO with any one vendor, okay, so always the user has to check somewhere else price list here. So in the stores we have lot of materials, thousands of materials here. So which materials, which vendor they are providing, what is the price and all. Always user need to maintain somewhere else data, and there you need to check the what is the price, which vendor is offering, what is the price and all. So for that user, it is a lot of okay. So complications for the user here. Okay, if you maintain the purchase info record, the material vendor combination, the user no need to check always. Okay, so which vendor, which material is providing, what is the price and all. So this is the main purpose of the purchase info record. Okay, and coming to the purchase info record is also classified into three areas. Okay, so one is general data. So the purchase info record completely classified into three areas: general data, where exactly general data will be stored, EINA. And next, okay, so next year purchase data. The purchase data. So where exactly the purchase data will stored, EINA. And the condition data. So your condition data will be stored in the KONPT. Okay. So completely the purchase info record classified into three areas: general data, which stores EINA table, so purchase data, EINE, and condition data will be KONPF. So these are the three respective tables here. So completely the purchase info record classified into three areas. But whatever the data present in the info record, either data will become the material master or vendor master. Later, if any mandatory fields we can fill, but only we need to keep in mind the purchase info record. Whenever creating purchase info record or uploading the purchase info record, so we need to observe the data will be either adapted from the material master or vendor master to the info record here. And also, so we need to understand completely the purchase info record. We have four info categories here. We have four info categories. So that is a standard. The first one is standard. The standard info record. The second one is a subcontracting purchase info record here. Subcontracting purchase info record. Okay, so the third one is pipeline, and fourth one is subcontractor. The fourth one is consignment side. So purchase info record are categories into four info categories: standard, subcontracting, pipeline, consignment. Okay, so there are four info categories here. Okay, in going forward, so definitely, so we'll perform all the procurement process. So we'll perform standard procurement process, subcontracting procurement process, pipeline procurement process, consignment procurement process. So if I want to perform these first two procurement process here, standard and subcontracting procurement process, the purchase info record is optional. Without purchase info record also, you can perform these two procurement process here. But whereas for pipeline consignment, for these two procurement process, the purchase info record is mandatory. Okay, without purchase info record, I'm not able to perform these two procurement process here. So this is mainly we need to understand. To perform pipeline consignment, these two procurement process, the purchase info record is mandatory. For standard and subcontracting, the purchase info record is optional. Okay, let us now whatever we discuss, let me show you practically. So how system is going to behave. Okay, so I'll create, and one more important, the purchase info record is many to many. How we can say many to many? Examples of material X is there. Okay, so this material X, so I'm saying the material X, a particular material in a stores and a company, so multiple vendors will procure it. So every time the company will not procure from only one vendor. Okay, so sometimes I'll procure some vendor one, sometimes I'll procure from vendor B, vendor C. Okay, vendor 1, 2, 3 areas. So the same material can be procured by the multiple vendors. Okay, and now if you come to here, the vendor 1, vendor 2, vendor 3. So different vendors I can able to procure here. This material and vendor combination, one info record will be created here. So this material and this vendor combination, another info record will be created. Once the info record is created, that is info record number is permanent. So metal master, vendor master, the master data means permanent number. Number is not repeated here. Okay, in that data is going to change here. Okay, and also please try to understand this vendor is not only supplying for this material X, he will supply material Y also. So the material will be procured by the different vendors, or the same vendor also will be supplied multiple materials to the company. It is many to many. Okay, so relation we need to understand here. Now coming to the, so once I'll open the server here, without purchase info record, how system is being we need to observe. Let me for time being, I'll create one material. So simply I will create a material. This already you know how to create a material. So go to create some raw material, ROH material. Okay. One material. Okay. So here basic data want to. This is actually your server. You open your server. 1 minute actually. This is I think is not my request. So I'm saying give this. You open another server. Okay. So that's what here raw material white is showing. Okay. So let me create one MMG. Only one raw material. Okay. So it will be smooth. Now come to here selection views, the basic MM views, enter the plant and store location. 153 zone. Okay. So we are creating one material, one test material. Okay, this is 1573. Enter some base of measure. Enter some material group. Enter some buyer group. Enter the violation class. So price here. So I created a new material. My new material is 1573. The material created 1573. For this material, there is no info record. Okay, so everybody will agree, right? So this material just now we created, the stock is 0. But this material against we have not created any info record. Without info record, if I'm trying to create a PO, how system is being built? So go to ME21. No, I have not created the info record. So I'm creating a PO. enter any one vendor. Okay. So after a couple of days, we'll reach to PO. Don't worry. So just time being, I'm creating PO in ME21 transition code. So enter the vendor, purchasing organization, purchase group. Okay. Later we'll discuss in detail. Don't worry. So just enter the material. What is the material you created? 1573. So the user is procuring with this vendor. So he'll mention all the org details and how much quantity required. So 100 quantity, on which date is required, for which plant is required. All the details the user will mention. Okay, now if you click on continue, the system will pick all the details. The finally, what exactly the system is expecting from us? Price. So the price is not picking by the system here. So the user, what you need to, so if this material is providing this vendor, what is the price you need to check in the price list here. See, stores in not only 5 materials or 10 materials. We have some 60-70,000 materials is there. We have hundreds of vendors is there here. So these many materials and these many vendors, always the user is confusion and okay. So a lot of okay work need to be done by the user. If you maintain the info record, this material and this vendor combination, freely if you maintain some conditions like gross price, discounts and all, the system will pick the price, and also the system will pick the info record number here. If info record is there, info record number also will be picked by the system, and also in info record if you mention the conditions, that conditions will be updated here. Because info record is not available, the system is behaving like this here. Now what I will do, I'll create an info record here. I'll create an info record. In which transition code I need to create info record? So simply in the ME11 transition code, go to ME11 transition code. I'll create an info record. This vendor material purchasing organization combination, plant combination. Okay, so the info record is a combination of both the metal master and vendor master here. Okay, so I mentioned the material, I mentioned the vendor and material purchasing organization plant. Okay, so this to create purchase info record, material vendor we mentioned. So this vendor is providing this material on behalf of this purchase organization this plant. You can observe the info categories what we are written in the notepad. The standard and subcontracting pipeline consummate. There are 4 info categories. Okay, to perform, just now we discussed standard and subcontracting info record is optional. For pipeline consummate info record is mandatory. Okay, so anyone, these are the radio buttons. If I selected this, I cannot able to select it. So anyone, only user can able to select. Okay, again if you click on continue. Now what we discuss here, the complete info record is classified into 3 areas. Okay, so from where this actually the data, whatever the data presented in the info record, either data will come from the metal master or vendor master. See the salesperson, from where it is coming here, salesperson and telephone number from the vendor master here. So from where this order unit is coming for metal master here. Okay, the data will be is updated from the either metal master or vendor master. If you want, you can able to change the data. So it is a general data. Again, if you click on continue, so this is up to this is purchasing data, and this is the condition data here. So completely the purchase info record classified into 3 areas. Okay, so one is general data, which stores EINA, and purchasing data EINA, and the condition data KONP. And we have 4 info categories: standard, subcontracting, pipeline, consummate. Okay, so now come to here. So these actually plant delivery time. So in the purchasing data, we need to mention the mandatory fields here. The plant delivery time is mandatory field here. Okay, but in vendor master, if you mention the plant delivery time, the system will pick here. So in vendor master, plant delivery time tab is there. There actually this plant delivery time is optional field, but if coming to the info record, is a mandatory field here. Okay, and enter the standard quantity. How much quantity? Enter the standard quantity. And also finally, we'll discuss with the vendors. Okay, the vendor will ready to give us some 90 euros here. Example. So 90 euros per one piece here. Okay, in condition tab, you need to mention the price and go to condition tab. So this purchase info record are time dependent here. Okay, so this vendor is giving this material from which date to which date here. Okay, so from 31st December up to 2023. So this is the price here up to 2022 here. Okay, so whatever the price here from date to date. So from this date to this date, this vendor is providing this material. Okay, on behalf of this purchase organization plant. What is the vendor charging? 90 euros for one piece here. For each one piece, the user is charging, your vendor is charging 90 euros here. So this is the condition. You need to simply click on save. The purchase info record is created. So once the purchase info record is created, the purchase info record number is permanent here. Okay. Now this time, I'll try to create a PO here. I'll try to create a PO. The same material vendor combination. I'll try to create a PO. So go to ME21N. So enter the vendor. Purchasing organization, purchase group, company code, enter the material 1573. Quantity. Okay, so what exactly is showing here? The system is picking 90 euros here. So previously system is failed here. Previously system is failed. Now this time the system is picking the price. Okay, this material and the vendor combination. So the info economy. I think now you understand the difference, right? What is the difference between? So this material vendor combination, this vendor and material combination in previous info record is not available. That's what the system is failed to pick the price. Info record is there, system is picking the price here. So this is one thing you need to understand. Okay, so that user, okay, so most of the time user there is no confusion. So whenever the end user is planning the material, so is procuring the material from any vendor. So if info record is available in the system, info record already maintain the conditions like price and all. So info record number will pick by the system. Automatically info record whatever the price you mentioned, the price will pick here. Nowadays, okay, this is one thing. So a statement you can understand here. Always the conditions will be updated. So now you can write here. So always the conditions will be updated from purchase for record to purchase order. Always the conditions will be updated from purchase for not only purchase order, any other purchasing documents also. So always the conditions will be updated from purchase for record to purchase order. Okay. But if I change some conditions, okay. So every time the system is picking from purchase for record to purchase order. So sometimes what vendor will say, okay, now this point of time this is not okay price here. I am giving some, so this price will not work. Okay, let us go for the next point here. If at the time of PO, if user wants to can able to change the price also instead of 90, suppose now vendor is charging 110 euros or 120 euros. So you can able to change the price. If I change the price, if you click on save, so these conditions will be updated from purchase order to purchase order. Okay. So previously we have done the conditions updated from purchase info record to purchase order, but conditions will be updated from purchase order to purchase info record. Reverse way it is possible or not, we need to observe. Where you can check here, simply go to PO, go to info record, change mode or display mode. So this is the info record just now we created. So go to condition tab. In condition tab, if you go to choose tab, yes, now you can understand. So the conditions is not updated, same 90 euros only. So which means one more statement what you need to understand. Always the conditions will be updated from purchase info record to purchase order, but from purchase order to purchase info record conditions, it is having only one direction. If user is change the PO, that price is applicable for only that particular PO only. Next minute, next PO user is creating, again system will pick the same price, because from purchase order to the conditions are not updated from purchase order to purchase info record. This always you need to understand. Always the conditions will be updated from purchase info record to purchase order, but conditions never updated from purchase order to purchase info record. User change, but only this is applicable for only that particular PO only. So again, next minute if user is trying to create PO, the system will pick the same price here. Now if you try to create, okay. So one more time if I am creating, so the system automatically picks the same price here. So suppose now again I am creating PO, okay. So enter all the parameters here. Now enter some vendor. So enter the purchasing organization, purchase group, and enter the company code. Enter the material code. Okay, so 1573. And enter the quantity. Again, system is picking the same price here. Okay, so this is one example you can understand. Okay, so always the conditions will be updated from purchase for record to purchase order. If user wants, he can able to change the price in PO, but the conditions never carried out from purchase order to purchase for record. This is what we need to discuss. Okay, and also you know how to see the tables. So previously I have shown you metal master tables. I shown you vendor master tables. I have shown you. Okay, now what is the transition code to see the table? AC16. Go to AC16. Enter the table name EINA example. Okay, EINA. Anyone, just you enter the material. So what is the material? 1573. Yeah? So this is a material. So info record is created with this vendor. When it is created, who is created here? Okay, this is all the complete general data. The same way you can go to ANE and KONP also you can check. And one more important point we need to discuss here. Okay. So one more important point. Suppose if user is creating a PO, user is creating a PO with other vendor here. So 5 to 1. Just now this time I am taking with other vendor. With this vendor, info record is not available. Okay. So enter the purchasing organization, purchase group, and enter the company code. Okay. So enter the material. Enter the material 1573. Enter the quantity. Enter the plot. So right now the system is doing correct manner only because so this material not only procured with one vendor, the same material can be purchased from different vendor also. But this vendor material combination info record is not available. That's what the system is not picking the price. What is most important you can see here. Once the project is implemented, so sometimes new vendors will come. So that time here actually the system will go and it will cross check this material vendor combination. Info record is not available. Okay. So if info record is not available, that's what. So you can see info record number is blank here. So in this case, user can enter manually price here. So let us say I will enter 80 rupees here. So we discuss if the vendor is ready with 80 rupees. Okay. Now, first time when you creating this material vendor combination, the system will go and so this material is procured for this vendor. Info record is not available. You can see info record is not available. But even though if I want to go forward, definitely I need to enter the price manually. I enter the price. Okay. But if you click on save, now one more important thing also we are going to observe here. Now if I go to observe the latest PO number, you can see the info record. Now you can see here. So this material vendor combination, previously info record is not available. But first time we are procuring, system is stopped. I enter the price 80 rupees. But if you scroll it here, the info record is created by the system automatically. Okay. So previously we observed the system. So we observed how the create system is. We are creating info record manually in M11. But now what you observe here, the system will create automatically whenever first time material vendor combination. If a user is procuring the material first time material vendor combination, the system will create here. So if I click on this, actually this is the info record number. This vendor material combination. Previously info record is not available. Who is created this info record? This info record is created by the system, not by the manually by the user. Info record is created by the system. Purely system is created. Now what is the parameters helping to create system manually automatically? Okay. So which parameter is helping? So most of interest will ask you this question here. Go to item details, material adapt. So this is the parameters helping you. Okay. So this is also one of the important parameter here. So once your product is implemented, so if new vendors is coming, the new materials are new vendors. So whenever the user is procuring the material, the system will go and cross check info record is there or not. If info record is not there, the user will enter manually price. But in background, for first time, the system will create info record automatically. To create info record in item details, material data tab, info update checkbox should be enabled mode. So if it is deselect mode, it will not create. So what is the checkbox is helping in item details, material data tab, info update checkbox is already selected. Then system will create automatically info record first time material data combination. But this info record number is permanent here. If system is created the info record, that info record price will be 0. So because system is created, right? So the system created info record price will be 0. Now, till now, what we discussed here. So whenever you mention the purchase info record, the system is going to pick the conditions or prices from the info record to purchase order. Now the system is created, the info record price is 0. Next time I will try to procure the materials, the same material vendor combination. Okay, how system is being we need to observe. Okay, same material vendor combination. I'll create one more PO, but info record price is 0, right? How system is being we need to observe. Go to ME21 and enter the vendor. Okay. Now, could you tell me anybody in the session here? Suppose now this material, this vendor combination, previous info record is not there, but system is created. The info record, that info record price is 0. The info record price is 0, but system is picking the price 80 rupees. From where system is picking this 80 rupees? Anybody in the session? You all three people, anybody? Please let me know where system is picking this 80 rupees. Yeah,
Purchase
Rajesh Babu.
information. PR, purchase information
Yeah.
record, sir.
Yeah, purchase info record. So what we are discussing, always the conditions will be updated from purchase info record to purchase order we are saying. But if I come to here, the purchase info record is price is 0 because system is created here. But system is picking the already picked the price 80 rupees. From where the system is picking this 80 rupees here?
From this info update, sir.
The info update, okay, very good. But where?
Uh,
Previous PO.
Previous PO, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what you need to analysis here. Okay. In previous PO, I entered 80 rupees, right? So when system is created, that info record price will be 0, but the system, okay, actually previously what we have statement, whatever the conditions in the purchase info record, the conditions will be updated here. But in this case, system is created, that system created info record price will be 0. But what the system will, at least the system will go and it will search what is the last PO price, this material vendor combination. So previously mentioned 80 rupees, right? The system will pick the 80 rupees here. This is also one interview question here. Okay. All right. So finally, what we observed here. So the info record is a material vendor combination. The new master data. What is the use of this master data? If master data is not available, always users will confusion like a number of materials and number of vendors will be there. If info record is maintained in the system, okay, the user, okay, so here whenever the user is creating the purchase document, the material vendor combination, if the price or conditions is maintained, system will pick here. And also purchase info record are classified into 3 areas: general data, purchase data, condition data. General data will be stored EINA, and purchase data EINA, and condition data will be QNB. There are 3 important tables here. Okay, and you know how to see the table AC16. And also what we observed, the info record, we have 4 info categories: standard, okay, subcontracting, pipeline, consignment. And to perform this 2 procurement process, standard and subcontracting, info record is optional. So this all the procurement process we need to run in further classes here: standard procurement, subcontracting procurement, pipeline, consignment. But see, for standard and subcontracting procurements, the info record is optional. Without info record also we can perform these 2 procurement process. Whereas pipeline consignment, to perform these 2 procurement process, info record is mandatory. So without info record, we are not able to perform these 2 procurement process here. And finally, always the conditions will be updated from purchase info record to purchase order, but conditions never updated from purchase order to purchase info record. Okay, there is no reverse direction here. Okay, now let us observe some other parameters here. So, and also always you need to keep in mind, so this one material can be procured from multiple vendors. Okay, one material, this is a business here, so I cannot restrict. So this material I can procure different vendors from the market. Okay, I have vendor in Kerala, I have vendor in Tamil Nadu, I have vendor in Hyderabad. Okay, which is giving least price, I will procure here. The system is not going to stop. Or also the same vendor may be supplied multiple materials. You are not restricting only you, not like this here. Okay, so these are many to many here. Okay, one material will be multiple vendors, or the vendor will be supplied multiple materials here. So once the info record number is generated, that info record number is permanent here. Let us see the further some other parameters here. Can I able to create purchase info record without material? So most of the are without vendor. There are some questions they'll ask in the interview. Let us see in perfume. Okay. Now simply go to M11. Okay. So here I'll mention the vendor. I remove the info record number. So I have not mentioned it. So what we discussed in the purchase info record is the material vendor combination. I mentioned the vendor, but I have not mentioned the material, but I mentioned the purchase recognition plant. I mentioned the purchase recognition plant. So I'm creating info record without material. Is possible or not? Can I able to create purchase info record without material? So we discussed here, it is a combination of both material and vendor here. but actually here I'm mentioning the vendor, but I'm not mentioning the material here. So can I able to, so what they will ask, can I able to create purchase info record without material is possible or not? So yes, it is possible. We can able to create purchase info record without material also. If we are creating purchase info record without material, then what are the fields are mandatory? What are the fields are mandatory? The fields mandatory like material group, short text, order unit, short term. Akhil, నేను సెషన్ ఉన్నాను ఒక నేను ఒక హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్తో కాల్ చేయాలి మీకు హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్తో నీకు కాల్ చేస్తాను సెషన్ అయిపోయింది దాన్ని బట్టి మెయిల్ డ్రాప్ చేసి ఓకే 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 సో వెన్ ఐఎమ్ క్రియేటింగ్ info record without material, so just without material is there, if material is not available, so then what are the fields are mandatory? Material group is mandatory, short text is mandatory, order unit is mandatory, and short term is mandatory. If I am creating purchase info record without material, so first of all it is possible, I can able to create a info record without material if I am creating without info record. Okay, so here short text, material group, order unit, short term, these are the fields are mandatory fields. These are fields are mandatory fields. Okay, so this is all. So finally, so here we are procuring material group level here. So this actually going forward we'll see definitely material group level also you can able to procure here, material group level. So material group level means example, so some materials okay for data redundancy. Okay, example stationery. For stationery means pen, pencils, A4 sheet, like that I need to create some 20-25 materials. But so why should I this much of data? I can create simply as a material group as a stationery. Whatever I am procuring, suppose a A4 sheet I am giving some 1000 papers order, I will enter manually A4 sheets here. So material group level procurement is also there. But meanwhile you can keep in your mind. So we can create info record without material also. Only vendor is enough here. It's a purchase recognition plant. Okay, so okay, I will mention some material 1567 something 1857, but is possible without plant is also possible or not here. Okay. So I'm creating info record. So here enter the vendor, enter the material, purchase recognition. The plant I have not mentioned. So with material we can able to create, without material also we observed. Okay, and without plant here. So in which case generally is it possible or not? Yes, you can say it is also possible here. We can able to create purchase info record without plant also. In which case it is possible without plant? Okay, this is also in a transaction. Suppose this vendor is providing this material, on behalf of this purchase recognition for all the plants. So let us say at purchase recognition level I have 4 plants is there. So this same vendor is providing this material on behalf of this purchase recognition for 4 plants is providing. So where is this plants? One plant is in Hyderabad, one plant is in Pune, one plant is in some Bengaluru. We have different areas this plants is there. The vendor is providing this material on behalf of this purchase recognition for all the plants, same vendor. So why should I create for plant 1 is one purchase info record, for plant 2 is another purchase info record, for plant 3 another purchase info record. So here without plant also you can able to create purchase info record. So finally altogether if I created without plants, if I created with plant, this plant specific here. Okay, if I have not created a purchase organization specific here, so it is possible. So finally the info record can be created with or without material, with or without plant also you can able to create. And whatever the conditions you mentioned, the conditions will be updated from purchase info record to purchase order, but the conditions never updated from purchase order to purchase info record. It is a material vendor combination. So whatever the data in the material master and vendor master, it will be updated. Further, if you want, you can change the data. If any mandatory fields also we need to fill. And the purchase info record are classified into 3 areas: general data, purchase data, and condition data. General data will be stored EINA, and purchasing data will be stored EINE, and the condition data will be KYNT. And purchase info record 4 info categories to perform all the business procedures we are going to run here going forward. Okay, after some couple of days we'll start the business procedures. To perform standard and subcontracting, the purchase info record is optional. To perform pipeline consignment procurement process, the purchase info record is mandatory. Okay, and it is a material vendor combination. And also what we observed, we can able to create purchase info record manually in M11 or automatically by the system. So when the system will create automatically, so once the project is implemented, So suppose now any material or vendor combination, we are facilitating the purchase order or any purchasing documents, the system will go and it will cross check info record is available or not. If info record is available, okay, well and good. If info record is not available, system will create info record automatically. The system will create info record automatically. But to create system, what exactly it is helping? Material data. So in item details, material data checkbox is helping to create purchase info record automatically. So this is about today's session here. Okay. So however, here now one more master data we need to discuss, but not today. So this will discuss. Next class will be in Monday. The source list here. Source list actually this is a next master data. Okay. So what is the source list here? So three now this weekend. So you need to practice org data as well as the three master data here. Like each and every master data. So you should all the people you need to know how to create change display tables, important fields. Okay. Metal master, vendor master, info record. The source list we'll discuss on Monday session here. What is the source list? Why we need to maintain the source list? And after the source list here, so total we have 7 master data is there. Material vendor info record source list. So remaining three, what are the remaining 3 master data? Condition records, service master and batch master. So these 3 master data during the process we need to call. So maybe so Monday we'll discuss completely source list. From Tuesday onwards we'll step into the transaction data here. So the transaction data also will discuss one day completely basics. Then Wednesday onwards we'll start the business process here. Okay, this is about this is the agenda here. Okay, Lakshmi and Rajesh Babu, Yamuna. So please practice the complete sessions till now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Okay. Bye.